and Torian Prince generally, that move, as we know, was made to clear the cap space and they gave up that pick to clear the Crab contract. And
And they
so
and they
and
could have cut. They could have just cut Torian Prince. They could have gotten
they
rid of him. And
but he
I'm not saying that that's what you do.
but he's still but the thing is that but the thing is that he is still a quote unquote. I know that he didn't have a great year this year, but he's still an asset because he's a fairly long wing that's a streaky shooter that's young and that's what Marks is in the game to do. And the truth is that and we've spoken about this both on and off the air, and Marks is going to go into next season. And this, I really think, for Nets fans and for Nets Nation that is or is not listening, this is something that cannot go understated. Marks is going to go into next year with hopefully two superstars that are healthy, along with and let's assume they sign back Joe Harris because it seems like that they've been willing to go into the luxury tax, and they're either going to have a third star, which like we'll see who that person is, or they are going to have an unbelievably deep team of guys that also are assets. Like I know that a lot of people like think that like because the Nets are always, as we know, are always kind of in trade rumors, and so there's kind of fatigue about the Nets assets. But like people want Karis LeVert, people want Spencer Dinwiddie. Torian Prince is an asset. This is not the Billy King era when we had multiple guys on the roster at one time who were absolutely untradeable. Nick Claxton is an asset. The Nets have all their picks, and if this and if and when they lose their pick this year, assuming they make the playoffs, they'll have a pick next year that they'll get back, that'll roll over, and that they'll have. And so it's hard for me right now because I think Marks has a ton of puzzle pieces, and it's hard for him to figure out what's the move because he hasn't even seen what even the bare bones is supposed to be right now because of injuries and what's gone on this year.
Sam, none of this is going to work because of a lack of leadership. Let me tell you something. My perspective comes from doing business. My perspective comes from looking at a startup and going, should I give this person money to grow this business? And for me, I would not give Shawn Marks $1 to grow this business. And here's why. He is clouded in his concepts. He believes in things that he thinks are analytics, like small ball. Small ball goes out the window when there's a Giannis in your conference. Giannis is going to the basket, and when he goes to the basket, he's going to score on a 75% clip and above. This pace and space, shoot 3-pointers, and not grab any rebounds system that Shawn Marks is doing, it's not going to work. And for me, I'm looking at this whole Orlando thing as the beginning of understanding of what Shawn Marks' acumen as a GM is. I think he signed KD and Kyrie and said, you know what? My job is done here. I've got these superstars. Let them figure it out from here. And that is not good enough.
But see, this is where I'm going to push back though. So I think the issue that you're speaking to, and I totally get it, but to a certain extent, and this kind of alludes a little bit to I believe what we spoke about last week, but Marks is in a really, really. I think Marks is actually in a much tougher spot than he actually gets credit for. Even though it's
He's
like
in a tough spot. There's no denying that.
because he made every single move to get them to a point, as you've eloquently stated, that they signed arguably the two most talented people that have ever worn a Nets uniform.
No, that has ever been players as New York City basketball players.
Right. As ever. Right,
Kyrie Irving is more talented than Clyde the Glide Frazier. I don't care what anybody says. He's a champion. He's won it all. He's played with Earl the Pearl. But Kyrie Irving is better than him. The only problem with that is Kyrie Irving is an asshole. Excuse me. You can finish your point.
But so here's my here's my issue is that Marks knows, because he's a player in this league, and he is coaching in the biggest sports market and the biggest market in the country. He knows, and he's also coaching in the only league I'm all for player empowerment. He's in the one league where the players can get a coach, a GM, a scout, a guy who works in the concessions fired in a second. And so he has to delicately balance both his interest in analytics and smart trades, because look, the guy isn't an idiot. The guy got us to this point to get these two guys because of legitimately making a gazillion smart moves. He also
wrong. I gotta stop you there.
He fell down on some stuff like Tyler Johnson and Otto Porter.
Sam.
But, yeah.
Sam. He has been the worst analyst of front court players of anyone in the league. Let's start from the beginning. Shawn Marks signed Andrew Nicholson. He was a poison pill in the trade that cleared the cap space, but we signed him. He joined our team.
No, but they got a pick in that. They got a pick in that deal. That was the whole point of that deal.
Okay.
That was the Bogdanovich trade. That that was the right move.
Okay. Then why did we sign Booker? Then why did we sign after Booker? We signed Travion Graham to play power forward. I do not trust a general manager who looks at the landscape of the NBA and goes, you know what? I'm going to start Torian Prince at power forward. You should be fired if you decided that Torian Prince should start at power forward. But
here's the thing. He also has basically the 3 and 4 spot on the Nets, because let's be clear, he's done a good job at point guard / shooting guard, and the Jared Allen pick, which I really didn't like at the time, has also turned out to be a really good pick.
I hated that draft, but I love Jared Allen, and I've apologized and said, Shawn Marks, you deserve all the kudos in the world for signing Jared Allen. I wanted OG Anunoby.
So did I.
Right?
But here's the one thing. The position of the 3/4 that we've been talking about, a lot of that over the last couple of years has basically been plugged in with all the guys that he's had to take on as salary in order to get picks back. You're talking about a Damari Carroll. You're talking about a Torian Prince. Like, these are like that position has basically, and look, the Trevor Booker deal, I don't really care that much about. It was a 2-year deal, and I actually thought Trevor Booker, maybe you dislike him more than I do. I didn't think he was that bad of a net.
Trevor Booker is the best of all the Nets power forwards, and that alone should tell you how shit Shawn Marks has been. But go ahead. I digress. You
but but
make
my,
your
but so,
point.
my thing is like he's like look, to a certain extent I totally agree with what you're saying, but look, it would be insane for me to come up here and say like Marks is unreal at getting forwards. You'd be like, dude, like shut the fuck up. Like I like how much are you drinking the Kool-Aid right now? but so that I'm not gonna do. But what I do think is I think you're picking at some of his smaller moves when like he's proven to be a good drafter. And the other thing I want to say, and this is the one bailout, and this is a topic that me and you I know are going to agree about, is are we sure that we'd be having this discussion right now if our departed coach, Mr. Atkinson, had played Kurucs more? Because Kurucs like was this pick that like I was at the draft for it and I had no idea who the fuck he was, and the second round is to a certain extent hilarious to be at if you ever go to the NBA draft, because you're basically seeing guys get picked and the videos that they show are basically they're like middle school and high school like YMCA videos. Mm-hmm. And but Kurucs, I was like, I don't know what this is. It's probably a stash, whatever. And me and you both, I think more highly of Kurucs than I think our departed coach did. And so that's why I'm curious.
You know what's funny about Kurucs?
Lay it on.
We love Kurucs. That is a Shawn Marks pick. He doesn't love Kurucs.
He doesn't, or Atkinson didn't?
I don't know. I'm confused now. Let's look back. Let's look back. I'm gonna name some names, and you tell me, Sam, if this was a good signing by Shawn Marks. You ready?
I'm ready.
Luis Scola.
Yeah, not good.
Not good, right?
Nope.
Justin Hamilton.
Not good. That was a dump. That was a salary dump, though.
Okay, fine. Andrew Nicholson.
Yeah, not good.
Quincy Acey.
Not good.
Anthony Bennett.
Yeah, not good. Forgot about him.
Dante Cunningham.
Him I actually liked more, and I thought they should have used him more. But yeah,
you know what?
That's something right there.
I'm not necessarily mad at Dante Cunningham, but he's not in the league anymore.
Yeah.
Jacob Wiley.
Yep. Not good.
Not good. Wilson Chandler.
No, that pick's been that signing's been a disaster, in my opinion.
Okay, and he quit on the team. He said, "I've got elderly grandparents. I'm not gonna give them the coronavirus. I'm quitting on the team. I'm not going. Even though I'm a basketball player, I have privilege, and I basically am gonna get health care that is beyond what everyone else in America is gonna get." Meanwhile, the B-44 bus just passed my house, and the driver is still driving. But Wilson Chandler, he can't play basketball because he's afraid of getting the coronavirus. Excuse me. Torian Prince. Sam.
I'll be kind and say the jury's still out, but I have
No.
Torian
Prince is shit, Sam.
I have not been impressed.
He is shit. He is a good backup small forward, and we gave him a long-term contract. I am sorry. Shawn Marks has to be responsible for the entire team. And he has a blind spot. His blind spot is called power forward, and it's because he is the last team in the NBA that still believes in small ball besides the Houston Rockets. Do the Houston Rockets look like they're going to win any NBA championships in any time soon, Sam? I'm so mad at Shawn Marks, I'm naming him you. Sam, do the Houston Rockets seem like they're on the precipice of winning the championship?
No, I would say they're going to miss the cut, but they have created something nice.
Listen. If you
If you
have Harden, you can create something nice. But can you win a championship playing like the Houston Rockets? That's the question.
They were a Chris Paul injury away from almost beating KD's Warriors.